Alright, hello, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Hello, VO. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. When I last left off, I just started day 2. Let's see. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. Oh, well, that's good to hear. I hope you heal up here soon. Interfacing. Challenging. Use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Stop steam from fogging up the mirror. Or with the mirror. And I can't do that. Sure, let's try. Nothing. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing's for sure. You've probably never been a plumber. Let's see. Anything out here?
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Composure. He won't even acknowledge these stolen boots you're wearing. For him, they don't exist. You'll have to bring it up yourself later, if you dare. What do we need to talk about them? What do they mean rowdy? Are these the men that Guard told us about yesterday?
Everything points to the dock workers' union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, like preliminary information. Which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean, Brad?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here.
Oh,
They prefer to be policed by the union. These men here.
okay, there. I think every time I update OBS, it completely fucks with all of my audio settings. Hold on. And I have to like redo everything and apply all of the filters and everything over again. Does it sound better now? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I hate that about OBS.
Men who drink beer for breakfast? There's talk of an armed wing of the union called...
Let me know if it
Boys,
happens
who are
again.
responsible
Maybe it's
for
my
state
equipment,
policing. I
though.
think it's them.
Although, changing the thing did fix it, I guess. Let's see. Are these the men Guard told us about
I
yesterday?
completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
There are so many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements.
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty normal. I don't know why this thing is always pretty quiet. Even on my end, it's in like the yellow in like OBS. So, I don't know why it does that.
In fact, even the death of two
And I'm
detectives
literally
might
like
not
right
warrant
next to
another
my
war.
microphone.
So let's keep a cool head, okay? One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Neither am I. Reaction speed. Yeah. Streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms. But aren't you curious to know what you have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight. God, I saw another thing. Okay, that's it.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Everything all right? Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there, or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
She sighs. Wait, what's wrong with the phone line? Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
The manager was vague about it.
She frowns. Interfacing. Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask a guard, maybe. Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Logic. A little missing persons puzzle might be just the thing to take your mind off the hangover. Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before? This sounds more like a side thing. I need to take care of my main thing. Then I'll get back to this.
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
But you have more important things to worry about. She glances out the window towards the bay. What is this expedition your husband was on? So your husband is some kind of scientist. Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship. That's all for now.
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Wait, who's this Gary person? Do you trust them? Are they in a rough neighborhood? You mentioned traps. Could there be some problems with them? The raccoon? Maybe your husband went off on an adventure.
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Are they in a rough
There's
neighborhood?
a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
Island Empire. Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Conceptualization. Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation. This sounds like police business. I'll help you find your husband, except that's too bad. I hope your husband comes back soon. Decline.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
It's just a little side thing. We'll do it down the line. I've already given my word. I'm honor-bound to uphold it. I've got a premonition that this missing scientist is connected to our main case. Let's see. I still haven't woken up yet. I was just napping. I think it would be good to take a break from the hangman for a little while. It's just police work.
If you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
You know the true plot of the game. Some kind of scientist.
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be
It all
extinct
comes-
or even fictitious.
It's all connected. Funny enough, it is all connected. Like, everything.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Encyclopedia. The quality of research at Revacholian universities has been on the decline. But you doubt there was ever a time when cryptozoology was embraced by the academic elite. Tell me more about moral, looks, character,
Oh, dear.
relationship.
I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but His eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's, and his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
Logic, you can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information. Let's try again. Why don't you try describing him as you would one of your cryptids? That's good enough. Let me ask you something.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did you two meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She smiles wistfully. Reaction speech. She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later. Think I have other questions?
I've been useful.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance. No, I want to hear about the insect. You're right. I don't have time for insect facts right now. Let's talk about something else. I want to hear about that.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Encyclopedia. Ah, yes. Phasmidia. A diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially. No, Kuno is a cryptid. Island Empire. Oh yeah, here comes the interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insular Indian coast. Hence its name, the Insular Indian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here? So, is it dangerous? Is it valuable? Does it have cool powers?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insular Indian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Same. So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
Okay, what's so special about this stick bug then?
Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure. Oh,
There.
hello, dear. I
Let's
didn't notice you at first.
Let's see. Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. Let's see. Suggestion +1 has the green ape pen. There we go. Sometimes the most charming thing you can do is be reasonable in your requests. Could you tell me about just one more interesting cryptid? The Insulindian phasmid was great.
I suppose you could use a break, and I could use a distraction.
One cryptid, like you said. One. This can't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. We have things to do.
Okay, Kim, just one little cryptid. Promise. Cryptid extravaganza. I like the sound of that.
And I don't. Just one.
Ooh, tough choice there. What's the biggest cryptid? What's the tiniest cryptid? What's the most dangerous cryptid? Is there a cryptid on this pen you gave me? Take out the pen she gave me. Are there any invisible cryptids? There has been this has been educational, so we need to discuss something else. Let's see. What's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the giant of Kokonur.
She says, as if it's common knowledge.
The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Wait, what do you mean strange light? And just how big is it? Is it dangerous?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
She does not elaborate the nature of this luminance further. How big?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Who here? No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Island Empire. Great. This is great shit. You need more. Conceptualization. Gravity. Anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here. What's the tiniest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
But Kim, don't you want to hear about another cryptid too? Right, okay. We can move on for now. It'd be dishonorable to re-engage on this promise. The lieutenant pauses thoughtfully.
Ah, fuck it. Let's have more cryptids.
Well, the smallest cryptid is the Cryobacter catlensis, a unicellular bacterium. It was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Katla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
Yeah, same. I always, whenever I find a good YouTube channel, I go through like their entire video catalog, like in a day. What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanu found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate, certainly from before recorded history. Mijanu disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it? You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world? I don't understand. Why would you prolong your life? Being alive is terrible. It's relatable. I intend to live forever too, as a symbol. She was preparing for the end times. She wanted to witness the record, the Twilight proceedings. Let's see. Immortal bacteria, immortal geologists. That's too wild. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of GTA RP back in, like, 2019. That was sort of I think the height of it. That was when it was super popular. Yeah, I watched all of a bunch of stuff back then on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
It's actually a little hard to see, but do go on.
You mean there is an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
She pauses for effect. The gnome of Jeroma? That sounds terrifying. The gnome of Jeroma? That doesn't sound too bad. Terrifying.
Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
What did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
She says mostly to herself. Logic. Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient? Seems very convenient that it just disappeared and nothing like it was seen again. No, it was a perfectly good explanation. Stop being so skeptical. Sure, perfectly good explanation. It dissolved in its own venom. Go on then, ask him more about gnomes or whatever. Is that a cryptid on this penny gave me?
Yes, it's the kind green ape, half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
War story.
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Wow, with its saliva. And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man.
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight. Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
I knew it, Kim. You're not human. I'm pretty sure Kim is the same species as us. To suggest otherwise is stupid. Ha. That's what I always have been, take the lead, right, Kim? The lieutenant looks at you, pleasantly surprised.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that Saelites are inferior to us in many ways. You are superior. For example, your earwax doesn't have a foul odor like ours does.
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today?
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
You're right, Kim. It's childish. But I need to know. Shush, Kim. She's gonna tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mamadaqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Encyclopedia. Col de Mamadaqua can also be translated as a whisper, light and low. A whisper, light and low. Could it be here? Look around, right now. What evidence is there that this animal, being a sound? Why is the Mamadaqua so afraid of us? Interesting.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they?
Her eyes light up behind her glasses.
Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mamadaqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
What evidence is there?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Songbirds. Just nod eagerly.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies. even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls. They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the call de Mamadaqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them.
Name them.
Sequester, Time, Joscan, those are but some of the Mamadaqua they followed individually.
Why is the Mamadaqua so afraid of us?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction?
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadaqwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
Encyclopedia. Psst. They cancel each other out. They cancel each other out. Or I don't know.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Mamadaqua population anywhere.
Of course, a common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear.
Interesting.
But about what?
Man, I just can't get enough of these cryptids.
I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He's the real expert.
And that's all for now.
Can I help you?
Let's see, saw another thing.
Great. I love those.
Garda saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Maybe I am a cook. I have a search warrant. But there may be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen. But I'm really hungry.
He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
So the phone line is dead.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
That's pretty strange. Is it true that there was foul play?
It's not strange, it's inconvenient.
Is it true that there was foul
Who
play?
told you that?
Lena? I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable. It doesn't matter. I just want to know who you suspect.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of arseholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
Goodbye. The tomatoes are so thinly sliced you can see through them. Gorsi Kubik. A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods towards the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Gorsi and Kubik. Logic. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Gorse Kubik. Please. It's not funny. Ah, Gorsi, I have some questions to ask. Mr. Kubik, I'm here on official police business. Hello, sir. Got time for a few questions? The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. Do you know what's behind that door? Point to the blue door. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. Leo said that you're friends with Manana, is that true? The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. What's in that borscht you're making there? Point to the large pot. The pot that I washed the dead man's boots in last night. Yeah. The man says a couple sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. Yeah, that's gross. A rhetoric. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. Conceptualization. He doesn't know your language. You could just say something cool in return. Yes, nod. No, shake your head. Mercury rising, then run your fingers through your hair. Sorry, I don't understand you.
Borscht need more vodka?
He looks at the soup, and then at you. More vodka? He picks up the bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Electrochemistry. Of course. Vodka. Now that makes it a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Logic. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. Yes, nod and turn your finger clockwise. Turn the vodka up. No. Vodka. Turn your finger counterclockwise. Cut it. I'll leave the cooking to you, shrug. I have business. I'll just leave it to you. Now, more vodka. He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot with a whistle and stirs the brew. Corsi, can I have some of that brew? You've got some impressive pots there. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Oh, cool. He smiles and nods enthusiastically, and clattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you. You got some impressive pots there. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of the pots in turn. Conceptualization. It's almost like music, especially with the sound of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. I don't think I need anything else. Oh, do I have a skill point? I do. Let's see, what should I? Okay, a couple things are already done. I don't have anything else, I don't think. No, I'll just have to put it into a skill here. Let's see. Actually, I think I need some interfacing, so I can interact with stuff again. I'll do that.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
A drama. Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice. You're the gardener. I knew you were not a gardener. I just wanted to know more about the place before I checked it out. That's normal.
No, I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
She crosses her arms.
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does.
She points to the man on her right.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Logic. Could this be the Miss Buford that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school? What's your role in all this? Are you Lizzie, Elizabeth, Miss Buford? What if I wanted to talk to you, not Titus? What are you going to do to me? Why are you so aggressive? And I should talk to Titus.
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy.
She points to the tall man by the table. Easy Leo told me about you. He likes to talk a lot. Hardy, not yet. I had other questions.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
What's your role?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
What if I want to talk about you?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority.
What are
In
you gonna
Martinez,
do?
You are no one.
The lieutenant is not satisfied with the approach.
What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
Just dock workers? Do dock workers spy on the police? We let you off easy, miss. Don't think it will happen again.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer. A beer, it's 8:47 in the morning.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional. The privatization is not unlawful. It's cool and funny. Maybe you're just not historic individuals. I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. The RCM is principled and strong, unlike you socialists. I like that. A good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the Union's plans? Yeah, let's do that. Let's ask the questions. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Drama. Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. You see hawthorn bushes outside. Photos of men in overalls, toting guns and Union placards.
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. Don't say anything yet. First, we need to talk about your attitude. We need to talk about the hanged man out back. So an interesting thing about Kim is that when he is being nice and encouraging you, he calls us detective. But when he's mad at us or he doesn't approve of what we're doing, he calls us officer. So right now he believes in me. Don't say anything yet.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
A drama. Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire. The chatter is too inane to reach your ears. Raise your chin and gaze into the distance like a prince. We need to talk about the man hanged out back. First, we need to talk about your attitude.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at his mates in disbelief.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We are looking for Titus Hardy.
The lieutenant turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table.
Wow. The RCM sent us some big dick cops.
Real big dick cops. Look at them. Reckless. Swinging in the wind.
Yeah, look at the big dick on that cop. Can't tell a dick that big what to do.
Must be something in the water in Jamrock.
He says thoughtfully.
Yeah, gave him real nice big dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He wraps it up.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Visual calculus. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Scan the room. The hanged man in the backyard. Did you do it? Glenn. Starting out from the right, boot size 44. Blonde man in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Theo, sitting on his right, standard working boots, size 45 or 46, eldest in the room, probably mid-50s, smoker, quiet. Elaine. Across at the other table, hobnailed working boots, size 43, gang tattoos, Mesk or Samaritan, in his late 30s, early 40s. Encyclopedia. He spent his youth in Villalobos, a housing project in the Jamrock Quarter. There were incarcerations, hard to say what else. The ink is fading. And then, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46, the big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. Perception sight. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, Eugene. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toe, size 44. 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum? Where? And the little guy? On his neck. Forget it, it's not important. Drama. Let's call this one the musician. And the little guy. Shanky. Size 41. With the light step. Not a child after all. An older man with a rat face. Mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. Fat Angus. In the middle, heaving and wheezing, big guy, boot size 46. Deep marks, probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. And the man in armor. And you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy. One of them is missing. The odd soul. Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Reaction speed. She. So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl. Who might it be? Elizabeth the gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
Logic. It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
Esprit de corps. There's no point in pushing it further. He thinks this is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later. The man hanged in the yard. Did you do it?
So, you're not just here to swing your big dick. You're here for the pretty boy. A real looker, that one. Stinks like shit, too.
They love him, boss. Spend all day digging around in there. Can't get enough of that pretty boy smell.
Funny, but my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck? Why are your boot prints all over the scene? I have spoken to the dead man in a bizarre occult fashion. You're involved, somehow. I just don't have proof yet.
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yes, why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Aha, so you just confess to murder. That's it, the game's over. We've got the perpetrator.
No, you don't. What you have is 7 honest men who thought it forthcoming to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Rhetoric. All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic. You murdered him just like that, no remorse. Who called the shots that night? When did this hanging incident occur? Why did you kill him? How did you kill him? Why don't I just arrest you? Why?
'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary. That's it. Glad we cleared that up.
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clenched shut, like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade, right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on. How do you even know he was in the Special Forces? Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
'Cause one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, "I'm RNA's goddamn Special Forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all."
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNA's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
A drama. Sire, the tale is true. Conceptualization. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code. Right, but what did he actually do wrong? Okay, besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
You don't violate the karaoke code. I'm on the side of the Hardy Boys now. That's the... Hello, Faye. How are you doing? A rhetoric. From rape to harassment to threats of violence, why the strange de-escalation? Empathy. He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't...
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grab one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
He shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, you said. Okay then, now, about the man you killed.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot. Drama. There's something odd here. Rhetoric. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it. Right, but who did the rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Volition. There's nothing you can do now. He's stonewalling you. You murdered him, just like that. No remorse. Who called the shots that night? When did the hanging incident occur?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head. Rhetoric. A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation. Address Elizabeth. I don't have to. One of them was more complicit than others. Address Titus. No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here?
That's for the courts in Les Jardins to decide. Not for the officer making an arrest, which we all know you won't be. What you can do right now is go back to your station and write a report.
No. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night.
You just murdered him like that.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Encyclopedia. Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition during the Suzerain reign. It used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says it as if it were worse than dying. And Reunion, what's that? Yes, but these were all bad people, criminals, the scum of the earth. Look, I'm just doing my job, that's all. What we do is different. We enforce the law. You just kill people like it's nothing. Honestly, I drink so much, I can't really remember anyone I've sent behind bars. The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the Coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown. I drink so much I can't remember anyone I've sent behind bars.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
Oh, when did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim? Understood. Next question.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No, I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
How did you kill him? Why don't I just arrest you? Step closer to Titus. So, what are you going to do now? Conclude, let's see. How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Logic. Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up. Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out? Where did all this action take place? Composure challenging 28%. Things aren't quite right here, are they? Strange answer to the tied hands.
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style.
Encyclopedia. Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves originating from the Sumerian Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Drama. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled-for details. Where did all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Oh, 42%. Let's see, +1. Alan might be lying. No. Composure. Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room, given how many questions you've lobbed their way. All of them. Maybe one of them is fidgeting, cracking under the pressure. Shanky. Well, this one, but he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up.
Like what, copper?
So, what are we going to do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Authority. Godly. 3%. Establish authority. I'm going to take off now.
Aces high. For the rest of the world, the aces high is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket. just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades, and those cargo pants could store tools for hot-fixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this.
There, wouldn't I? Grabbed a drink real quick while that was playing. Let's see, what does this give me? +1 bonus from the thought, +1 empathy towards Kim Kutsuragi, +1 esprit de corps, the roots of the RCM. Oh, the thing went away. Oh, there it is. Electrochemistry. That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been How long have you been up already? An hour? 2 hours? Pretty long. It's drink o'clock. Not now. Sweet Lord, a whole hour. And you haven't thought about rum and lemonade in all that time. You've truly extinguished all traces of yourself. I've been secretly thinking about it all this time. Actually, should I be thinking about this? Looks like drinking hasn't turned out too well for me. Now that you mention it, I do need a rum and lemonade. I'd love for Gart to serve me up a beverage. Maybe later. Maybe later. What's this, Casual Friday? What's with this lackadaisical lax man attitude? I used to be passionate about getting your drink on. Show me you're still young. Show me you have the fire in you. Lick the stain off the counter right now. Yes. I'll lick it later. I don't want to lick it. That's... Yeah, rum and lemonade. That doesn't sound too good. Also, licking a rum stain off of a counter. Also not the greatest. What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then. Find booze and drink it. Get your drink on and your act together. Island Empire. Was that? Could it be? The Col de Mamadaqua? No, it probably is just your imagination ringing in your ear. Is it? Is there a ringing? Listen more carefully. Probably not. Yeah, I'm fine not being cool. There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring, ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Same. I'm just an old boomer now. That's all I am. I used to play FPS games, and now I basically just play books with extra steps. That's logic. Elena also said that I couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must be a regular bird. Wait, Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise? Listen closely first. Move your heads toward the sound.
No, I don't hear the Col de Mamadaqua, and neither do you.
No, I don't hear the the Colda Mamadakwa. Island Empire, of course, he doesn't. He's deaf. Wait, okay, let's see. Listen closely first. There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species. Keep listening. It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come towards you. Move your head towards the sound. Oh no, the sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. Same. I still drink Red Bull, every now and then, when I need it, but I mostly just drink coffee. No, too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore, just the sound of the streets. No, come back, please. Listen more. Go then, leave like everything else. Keep your ears peeled then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again. Keep your ears peeled. Yeah, this game it's something else. Oh wait, what is this? Find booze and drink it. The hangover feels really bad. You have to take the edge off. Find a bottle of alcohol. Put it in your hand. Equip it in your held slot for inventory. And the magic will happen on its own. Prove your authority. Find Moral the cryptozoologist. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got the number. I can probably call back into the station and see if they have more information on that. I think how much money do I have? 55. I need $5 more for tonight's rent. Interfacing. Snow covers the white-on-blue police livery of the motor carriage. The white colors nearly meld together. Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to... No time for this. Gotta run. Do something important. Something murder-related. There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire a piece of machinery. Encyclopedia. This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corp. Follow-up to the highly successful Workhorse Caprice 40. And the answer to the Looms Racing Bred Verve series. Interfacing. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds and go on a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that equates to in freedom units, but that sounds like a lot. Won't it roll over in the first sharp corner? Turn your attention to the motor carriage itself. Motor carriages don't interest me. Finish thought. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Canema effectively a mobile power plant. This tech talk is really rubbing me the wrong way here. Rubbing me the right way here. Turn your attention to the motor carriage itself. Oh, okay. I guess that's pretty fast. Although, you know, it looks like an old, like 1920s car looking thing. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery. That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Point to the vehicle. Very cool. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. Looks impractical. Shrug. A motor carriage. One of many.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
Oh, okay. I guess that's fast. I don't know anything about cars. I'll admit that. The lieutenant smiles ever so slightly. What's it packing there? Point to the engine.
130.
Interfacing. I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Rub your chin. Yep, a 7-liter V12.
7.2. Supercharged.
The lieutenant is trying to suppress a smug smile unsuccessfully. A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
True. There's gentleness in the lieutenant's voice as his eyes run over the vehicle's contours. Electrochemistry. It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it, flare it up, slam it down. You need to slam it, Kim. Make it more imposing. Okay, enough about the details.
Sorry, I'm not following you.
Download more RAM. Yeah, exactly. Interfacing. A lingo it up. Drop the ride. 200 mil. Get the camber to frosty. What? I'm not either. I don't know why I said that.
No, that's porno tuning.
Trust me, it's cool. It's what?
Porno. That's short for pornography.
Conceptualization. The sole purpose of pornography is to stimulate one's visual sense to evoke sexual arousal. The same is true with the modifications you're proposing. So, what's wrong with pornography? Pornography is something completely different, Kim. Alright, I guess I did get a bit porny there.
That's a negative on the porno. Thank you, though.
I never had a Mac, so no, I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's... I think I used a Mac like once, and I had no idea what I was doing. Oh no, I zoomed in, and I don't know how to zoom back out. Oh, there we go. Okay, there. The damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. On the cover stands a very muscular man surrounded by flames. This book has a rose, a pistol, and a half-naked dame on the cover. This book is about pate. This book, you don't really understand what it's about, nor does it seem important. This book is about the future. The government reads your mind. Wait, I could no, the thing covered it. I couldn't see it. It's like the government reads our minds with like radio waves. The book about the Biaudière culture. I don't know what that said. It goes by too quickly.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's see. A young girl with chubby red cheeks waves at you, smiling. Her nose is also red from the cold. Hello. I am the law. Hi. That's...
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
Just download more RAM. She stops her feet to feel warmer. What kind of store is this anyway? Is it okay if I ask you some questions? Not really.
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Encyclopedia. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl. What is a book? What's a postcard? What's a board game? Don't be ridiculous. I know all these things. What's a book?
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter.
Wow, that's a great way to describe a book.
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
What's a board game?
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
Interesting.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
Not really. I need to save and allocate my skill point thing before I proceed. I think I have a... let's see. Yeah, I'll just get another one. Yeah. I'm just gonna get all of the thought cabinet slots. Let's see, temporary research bonus, nothing. Let's see, the Col de Mamadaqua. You heard it, the mysterious Col de Mamadaqua. You're certain that you did. Well, maybe not quite so certain. But, let's say, you're hopeful. Because it would make you very special to be the only human being who can hear this invisible, incorporeal bird. This animate whisper. This particle of sound. You're going to have to keep listening. Sharpen your ear.
Hello again, sir. Are you interested in a new and exciting book this time?
Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What's your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
Let's see. And you're standing out here in the cold because... Okay, I guess I will.
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance and biographies of famous people.
Blinker fluid? Oh no. I should have a word with the store owner, maybe. Such a good trooper you are. Already learning the value of hard work. Pat her head. I could help, but brutally dismantling... I could help by brutally dismantling the free market.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store.
Should you be at school or
I
something?
do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Technically blinker fluid. Well, that's... It's like the I was gonna say, the Alex Jones gay frogs. I mean, he's not technically, well, he is wrong. It wasn't correct, but it was a story that it had a grain of truth to it. The chemicals in the water, they were causing the frogs' hormonal imbalances, which were, I guess they can change their sex depending on if they're like if they don't have enough males or females in like a frog population, they could basically change at will in order to reproduce. And that's where the gay frogs came from. Based frogs. Isn't going to school more important than this? School is stupid. You're lucky not to be there. What is school anyway?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
How's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders. Cursed in what way? Good to hear that it's going well. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
Cursed
Cursed?
in a way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
Yeah, I've seen lobster. I get a lot of lobster fishermen on my YouTube recommended, like the YouTube recommended shorts, and it's always the lobsterman. I don't know why, but it is pretty interesting. And yeah, they put a notch in their tail in order to signify that they had eggs at one point, so that they keep them alive for the breeding purposes. And apparently the notches will actually stay in even as they shed their exoskeletons and get bigger. Let's see. She's looking for the right word. Bankrupt. Ass up. Nothing.
Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
Oh yeah. I've seen what happens to salmon. Apparently salmon, after they mate, they their bodies, they turn into like monsters they die. Their bodies like rot. They turn into these horrible little creatures. It's really gross. I don't think curses are real. This sounds rather serious. I should probably look into this. Narrow your eyes and look through the creaking boards on the window.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more to look into here.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir.
What do you know about the other failed businesses? How does this curse manifest itself? Stroke your chin. Enough about the curse for now. What do you know about the other?
Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather.
But Kim, the plasmic manifestations. Fine, I'll show you.
No such thing.
The lieutenant stands by your side, stern and serious.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
Yeah, the salmon. The based Taoists.
Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead.
Let's see. Crime business. Let's see. Who are these famous people? Let's see. Bye. I'll go inside and do the Ghost side quest. The Curse.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
Alrighty.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Oh, yeah. Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some money? I feel like there won't be an opportune moment to ask later. So, are you the owner of this store? No thanks.
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
I know what you mean. What if I want to buy a book? The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed. Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course. No, she was definitely slacking off. It doesn't matter. Now tell me something else.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful. 5. I felt some interest. 1. Not impressed. I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. Annette is quite the trooper. She's a great value add. I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. Okay, let's change the subject.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Great value add. Yeah. most corpo thing ever. Good thing I'm here to dismantle the free market. Such criminal behavior should not happen in more developed countries. In some more developed countries, this sort of thing is 2 felonies, child labor and slavery. Oh, I guess I was mistaken.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
Her tone is decisive, not at all angry at the insinuation.
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
Back to the coal mines. I saw that picture on Twitter of the kids when they're signing the child labor bill. All the kids look so like miserable and sad while the adults are smiling. It's fucked up. Logic. Denial is the way she copes with criticism. Same. The children yearn for the mines. Let's see. Mention this place is cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Rhetoric. What in God's name is she talking about? What if I want to buy a book?
Why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
So what types of books do you have?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
Alright, I'll have a look. Farewell. Gift books and molten candy. Man from Hemdall series. This display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hemdall somewhere. Storekeeper, tell me about these Muscle Man books. Muscle Man, my mom. Look through the display books. Rows and rows of Hemdallmen. Blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hemdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hemdall. Return to Hemdall. And the Soliplistic Man from Hemdall. And the Hemdall Man. Good God, how many of these are there? Maybe 100. Man from Hemdall and the Sages at the End of the World. Man from Hemdall and the False God, Man from Hemdall and the Scorched Earth, Man from Hemdall, the Hemdall Colonies, Man from Hemdall and the Swamp Beast, Man from Hemdall and the Snow Crabs. Is that all? Not even close. Man from Hemdall in Hell, Man from Hemdall and the Forest of Slaves, Man from Hemdall, Under the Lake, Man from Hemdall, Hemdall Burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pasternal combat game book set in the world of Hemdallin, and so much more. Pain Threshold. Do any of these books call out to me? Why is it Pain Threshold? Why is that the skill check? Okay, hold on, let me see what happens. I lost. Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. When I fail a thing, it gives me a... It heals morale. I don't know why, but one of my skills does that. Pain Threshold, nothing of interest, only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation. That's how I feel every moment. I wonder what happens. I want to see what it... what happens when you pass it. There we go. Pain Threshold. A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eyes start twitching. Ow. What was the... What is it? Man from Hemdall. Your hand reaches towards a book with a glossy cover art of a very muscular man from Hemdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. Island Empire. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hemdallin lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadows of the woman's headdress look like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Hemdall and the Devil Woman. Aren't all women devil women? Interesting. Especially those leering types who seem to wear nothing but an armored bikini. There's also some sort of snake lizard beast slithering around her abdomen chest armor region. It's symbolic of vice and sin. Cost $9. Let's see. I want to buy A Man from Hemdall and the Devil Woman. No. Yeah, so you can actually... The books are for passing time. You can click through them or read through them. Oh my god, Kim's dancing there. He's glitching out. What's he doing? Old sports magazines tucked away in a dark corner. We'll find the lusty Argonian maiden here somewhere. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by whirl-related merchandise. Storekeep, what board games do you have here? Look through the pile of whirl-related games. An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codex litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large, hardbound tome and intricate cover art. The Hunters of Katuk, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a pick-your-path adventure gamebook titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Valkrag. Conceptualization. Books in a board game section. Who wants to read books? Anything that really catches my eye. Maybe I'm not into all this binoclard stuff. There's a box that says Whirl 3rd Edition Mega Settings Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game. New maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then, it's a 3rd edition Mega Settings Supplement, so it makes sense. 25 real, I want to buy the board game. No. The book collects a natural receipts of Arda. They are all about... Oh, I couldn't read that. Shelf of crime novels. These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. Storekeep, what's all this crime fiction? Look through the display books. Crime fiction is a disgrace, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes and the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over the how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of the books found on the shelf? Sure. Oh God, no. You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen dies. Are there any more? Okay, let's stop now. Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case. More? Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The Morbid Tale of Dick Mullen. A Dark Tide Turns. Yeah. Tragedy Calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. Island Empire. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Reaction speed. Let's see. Who is Dick? Let's see what happens. Who is Dick Mullen? Success. Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. What do we have here? Mistaken Identity. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic, Hard-Boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Why does this speak to me? Richard Cheese. Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy, full of contradictions. No, it's gotta be something else. Let's see, cost $7.99. A quaint picture book brochure, very colorful. It's a tome of fascist magic, rather candid. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell. Hold on. It's like a... where is it? There we go. Everyone knows the most interesting thing about fascists was their magic. Browsing through all the books, with all their names, makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. All just a vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Iru and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook. What's it about? Oh, hello again, View. High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is a madcap driver, Jacob Iru. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Iru's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a prominent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
Map wall. Several maps have been attached to the bulletin board, hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. Time is commerce. The maps look old and faded. Your eyes catch a map of Insolent, a map of Revachol, a map of Martinez. Look at the map of Insult. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulintic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is Lacayu. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Semines Islands, Ile du Fantôme. What else? Ozon, Laurentide, Basse à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands. All just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulintic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. Island Empire. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you. Squidfirst, can you see cities on the islands? You can. On Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozon, Fond de Lair and Vermandieu. On Archipelagos, Crayant, Moraine, Villiers, and Semine? I don't know these names. Oldevin. And on Laurentide, the aura of the seven seas. 850 million people live on these little dots. An oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history. Look at the edges. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing onto pale nothingness. Mundi is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east. Seoul is the west. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds, worlds past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. Encyclopedia. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Conceptualization. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust. Look at the map of the Insulinity. Map of Revachol. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, La Jardin, Stella Maris, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East. And west of the river, no, I'm probably just pronouncing that incorrectly. I don't know. I don't know how to say things. Azimuth. Is that how you say that? Oh, okay, I just guessed. Okay, azimuth. I guess I just guessed how to pronounce it. Corian. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People should live there. But they... Now, people shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Farborough. It's almost as bad, and much larger, than Coal City. It's the worst. And Martinez. True, all words are made up. I'm the one who decides how they're truly pronounced. It's so small, you can't even see it on the map. No, wait, there it is. North of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. Volition, no. This is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights. The sky. The world. You're still alive. Here, I'll do that later, because it's already almost 10:30. I'll get the rest of the behind the bookstore done here. Closed curtains. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains? Examine the strange, cage-like trinket. Pull open the curtains. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron, assembled from bones, sticks, and straws. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Encyclopedia. From the looks of it, this is a traditional Seminoles ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges. And who are the Seminoles? Inhabitants of Ile du Fantôme, the Seminoles Islands, down south. Aside from poking at it, suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you. Ignore the curtains for now, leave. I'm gonna just make a save there, in case it doesn't work. Let's see, pull open the curtains. Just as you're about to pull them apart, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand has closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
Perception hearing. She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people? This is about the curse. That's why you're afraid. Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there. But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold. I don't care. You can't stop me. I'll open them. Continue. All right. I'll think about it for a while.
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
I sense this place calling for me.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
I don't care. You can't stop me.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Rhetoric. Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. Island Empire. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. What's behind these curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
They're always entertaining. She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Rip them apart, this time for real. Nah, I'll talk to her.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Why are you so uptight about these curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
If it's just a storage room, then why does it have a Seminoles ward protecting it? If it's just a storage room, then it wouldn't hurt if I just peeked inside. It's not like it's cursed, right?
It's just for decoration.
As she wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile. Then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pennant. How does this curse manifest itself? Why didn't you just tell me right away it's the curse? Have you sought help from anyone? This place is called the Doomed Commercial Area. It's also known as Cleveland.
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
As a Cleveland resident, I can agree with that. Fuck this place. And didn't that curtain just move? Okay, I'm a little confused. What does it mean? Ah, Anit mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles. Wait, that's it? I was hoping for something more paranatural.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements.
I know a lot of streamers from Ohio, and a lot of them are actually VTubers. I don't know why. I think it's the chemicals in the water. They're turning us into VTubers. I was gonna say, oh no, there are actually chemicals in our water. From the train. All the train wrecks that dump chemicals into the rivers.
There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
There's actually a joke. Most astronauts are from Ohio. Like, people who have been to space in the from the NASA and stuff. Apparently, the most common state they're from is Ohio. And it's like, this place sucks so much, you just want to leave the Earth. Just. Why didn't you just tell me right away?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods at the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear, it's not enough.
Yeah, consider yourself lucky. You made the correct decision. Via. Yeah, this whole area is like, they're all the same. Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, it's all the same thing. It's just corn. It's corn everywhere. Is your pennant part of the ward itself? Pointed her necklace.
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
Illinois? What? That's how we say it. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. Oh, Illinois. Oh, Illinois. I guess you don't say the S. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. She nods. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Rhetoric. Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people. Logic. Doesn't seem like the spell is working. There are no customers around except you. There's hardly any customers in the store. Do you think it's really working? Honestly, it seems like this pennant thing is a scam. You could be doing so much more.
Sir, I am well educated in the commercial and esoteric arts. I know what to do and what to avoid.
I think that is how, because I think it's supposed to be French, so they don't say the other S, so it's Illinois. That's, but everyone outside of it doesn't care. We say Illinois. That's Colorado. I don't know anything about Colorado. Let's see. Have you ever thought about a sale? Maybe this could lure in some customers.
Discount my wares? I can see, sir, that you don't value books very highly.
We have people in Ohio that have Confederate stuff all over them, fly Confederate flags. And it's the fucking, and have bumper stickers and stuff. They were never part of the South. In fact, even when you see like the people who want like the national divorce people, they always draw the maps like like they take over like parts of Illinois and Pennsylvania, but like all of Kentucky and all that in Tennessee, but then they just leave Ohio alone. They're just nobody wants it, none of it, not a single part of it.
Besides, this would only tempt the phantoms of doom. They can sense the desperation, you know.
It's their version of it. Yeah. Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate and see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for. A para-detective. And a few more questions about the curse. Drama. 58%. Convince her to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. -1. Gave smart-ass parenting advice. Oh, well, that's...
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance...
-1. Check failure. Drama. Time to fire up the old lie machine. Ma'am, I am a renowned private investigator, a paragon of law, and a specialist in all things criminal. I don't want to say all that.
And I am his private partner, John Shaw. Together we run the preeminent postal surveillance firm in Revachol.
The doomed commercial area. It's just Twitter headquarters. Or sorry, X headquarters. It's Encyclopedia. Shao is what the Sealite Empire was called in the Occident. Back when far less was known about the people, it was a barbarian, other, ever so mystical, on whom you could project any kind of exotic fantasy. The legend of it persists, and a lot of people still think that the Shao is a thing. We are truly private in our partnership.
Once we've caught our client's spouse in flagrante delicto, we blackmail them and pocket the money ourselves, because that's what private investigators do. Now, I see that you are a married woman.
Yeah, no, nobody calls it X. Literally no one. It will just continue to be called Twitter. Rhetoric. Some penetrating sarcasm from your colleague there.
What nonsense are you two going on about? This is not relevant at all. And besides, my husband would never do such a thing. We are proper people.
Yeah, I think that was the, what do you call it? What's it called? What's the name of the thing? Like in the divergence, I think that's what it's called. In like a, sort of like, it's the explanation where a universe diverges from another. and everything goes to shit usually. Like how they, I guess the easiest one would be like the Fallout universe, where the divergence is like I guess there's different ones, but the most notable one is they never invented transistors. So, all of that technology just doesn't exist in their universe. So, and I feel like the early, I guess it's the meme that the death of Harambe, the gorilla at the zoo, was the great divergence of this universe, causing everything to go to shit. I don't know why, but that seems to be it. That seems to be it. Mind your manners, John. This isn't the Great Shao Empire, where you can talk about sex stuff so openly.
Preposterous. A waste of my time and of no help to anyone.
Our sincere apologies, ma'am. No more nonsense. We are offering to assist you with your troubles. Pro bono.
Despite his apologies, there's a twinge of amusement in the lieutenant's eyes. That's right, and all you have to do is give us the key to the back door. Enough funny business. Will you just give us the key already? It's a good offer, ma'am. I urge you to accept our help. It may be the only chance you have to save your business.
That's right. When not spying on the love affairs of the ultra-rich,
Pro
we
bono.
solve unusual mysteries by the low reload.
What better way than to ask
Oh
us?
my God! Will you stop with that incessant yammering? It's too much. If you wanted the key to the back door, you could have just asked for it.
Fine, I'll ask for it. Can we have the key? But I don't want to ask for it. Asking is beneath me.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, good old save scum.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance,
You
and
two
Biographies
fans.
of Famous People.
Success. Drama. Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend, and show her what world-class perfidy looks like. Wait, what if I don't want to lie? Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I sensed the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out. I returned from the void. A paradetective from a long line of paradetectives.
I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Esprit de corps. Go ahead then, rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes. I admit, I've had my share of drinks, but only because the special realm is parapsychologically taxing. You see, it's necessary to drink these spirits in order to contact the void.
how do you know all this?
Here we go. Your wards brought me here in the first place. The Semini's blood also runs through me. I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies. What?
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Island Empire, perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
No problem whatsoever. Your family is safe. The Phantoms are no match for me. Just ask my partner, Kim. He'll vouch for me. The lieutenant mumbles in minor confusion. He has not been listening closely enough. You've put him on the spot.
Certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
A hand on your heart. On my honor. Actually, I'm not really feeling the vibe anymore. The psychic force has left me.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Drama. Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire. The entity. Of course, the entity. Close your eyes, for I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimneys aren't big enough for that. Chimney. The passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Island Empire. Unbelievable. Darkness and ruin. Logic. What you do discover. Probably just some office space. Don't be scared. Pull the curtains open. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Simonese wards, your shadow looming over it, like an omen. A small, terrified O escapes from Policience, I don't know how to say your name, as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds of Simonese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Knock on the door. Unlock the door with the key. Pain threshold. Break down the door. +1. Broke into the communard apartment. 42%. No, knock on the door. Only an echo. No one is there. Lock it with the key. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. Kim, maybe you should go first. Open the door and enter.
Detective, you're the one in charge.
The lieutenant motions towards the door. Open the door and enter. Oh, here, let me equip the flashlight. There we go. Still carrying the bag of empty bottles. That's... Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Oh, hold on, I have to talk to Kim.
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. It's an adventure. It's the netherworld, beyond the veil. Looks like a gym to me.
No, it's a gym.
Oh.
Though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
Island Empire. An eerie feeling rises in your chest. What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just a regular abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Yes, because it's closed.
It's a ghost gym. Oh no, they're getting swole.
No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
Oh, I got the ball. You give that back to the guys when I threw that ball into the ocean. I have to give them a ball back. The poster says Citius Fortius. The rest is worn off. The worn-out wall bars, they look unsafe. Let's see, is there anything else? There's the weight. Let's save in case it kills me or something. A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. Physical instrument. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of those weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. Visual calculus. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Island Empire. Why does it feel so familiar? Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter? Look at Kim. It's a trap. There's no collars on the barbell. No, it's not that. It's the smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling's gone. It's just a memory. Endurance, a memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Let's see. What kind of bastard would remove the collars? It should be a felony. Actually, I don't really care about the safety hazards.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
I want to see what happens. When I inevitably fail this. Physical instrument, legendary, 8%. Lift the barbell, +1 notice the collars. Minus... oh. Damage to health. You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell falls off, wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're not a beast. Just an old man with bad form. Island Empire, CC. This place is cursed. Fuck you, stupid barbell. Seems like I'm a little out of shape, or maybe these gloves just suck. Whatever weightlifting is for the intellectually impaired anyway. Say nothing. Fuck
Weightlifting
you.
was never my favorite either.
Losing health and morale.
At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running. It clears your head.
Well, that's what happens with you if you do that. Ooh, spooky. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. A large demijohn, full of strange liquid. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. I don't know what happens. I don't think I've ever passed it, because I've never done a physical, like a strength build. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Once I could probably find some clothes that give me bonuses to physical strength and then try it again. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth-bitten. There, I almost have my $60 for the day. Steel rotor blades bearing a Slipstream logo. Production schedule. Let's see. Production schedule filament memory. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads Production Schedule Note. This filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Skis with Slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Conceptualization. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. I don't get it. Oh, it gives me morale. Okay. Thank you. I think, yeah, my morale is full. Oh, I have 9. I just realized I have 9 morale healing things. And 3 health things. But the question is... Oh, wait. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the name Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. But the question is, which did they start with, and which did they pivot to? What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. It's just speculation. We don't know anything for sure. Reality is ruthless. Project Dread board. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, scratches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Inspect the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even aether welkin, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Island Empire. Who are all these creatures, fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? Drama. You should adopt one of these welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. Project Redboard. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. Examine the welkin. This is important. I don't care. Steph. It's Varahamara, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Holder, the Deworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkins. Green welkins, dread welkins, and the high welkins to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this? Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. Whisper. One of them is a welkin supremacist. Let's see. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welkins.
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
Who are these creatures?
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
The lieutenant nods at the welkin's facial hair. Oh, this has been education.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
Let's see. Inspect the photos. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees growing under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds abandoned in a storm, animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Encyclopedia. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by Boreal Deworg. Yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Electrochemistry, albeit dark and cold. This vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. A much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, The Heat-Death Scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Whirl becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Inspect the schedule. This is mostly... Oh, this is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily manime, and GPT span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Encyclopedia. Manime stands for Mini Meeting. It's a part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. Keep reading. What happened? Step back and look at something else. As time goes on, the numbers and boxes go rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." Inspect the notes. The handwriting is only partially legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune out, Whirl Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in a blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Conceptualization. The whole thing resembles Cadran, mosaic tiles, very pesantic. Hold on. How do I know what Cadran mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? What am I looking at? History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those acryl blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. Frequency fireplace. Radio frequencies, it seems. A bunch of numbers. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system, split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. So we're dealing with something medical here. This must be an elaborate piece of art. Of course, narrow your eyes. The autonomy of the curse. Perhaps the web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station at once. Interfacing. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Wait, who's the Game Master? If it's a game, then who's playing? Someone very important. Authority. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. Conceptualization. A conductor with the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. If it's a game, then who's playing? Whoever decides to call into the call-in station, it looks like. Logic. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Bethesda? That's... the cost of air width alone must have been huge. Why do you say that?
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else? Nothing. Just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used this fireplace in ages. Mainframe. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wire framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
Interfacing. This is the REM Civic Radio Computer, model RC5120. Equipped with a Feld mainframe and a REM-compatible printer. Do you think I should turn it on? Turn on the machine.
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Turn it on. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing a viscrant play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Look inside the compartment. It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. Interfacing. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Insert the production schedule. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. Press play. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Island Empire. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What's the production schedule? Why did you call me Fortress Accident? What are you? A machine, or are you alive? That's all for now.
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
You mean that glowing thing I put inside? Alright, thanks for the explanation.
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Yes? I don't know. I swear I haven't touched anything.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password. Of course, it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. A password. I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? Is it my birthday? This is the police. Please open this thing. I don't know the password. Is it my birthday?
No.
Oh. A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Logic. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad. Wow, so conceptual. And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game.
Any other questions?
What are you, a machine, or are you alive?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
Yvonne, my partner tells me that you're here because radio computer guys are all paranoid. Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios. Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static. Press print. Nothing happens. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
Okay, what do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Someone tried to exorcise the curse using technology. Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program. It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making?
Yes, that is the question.
The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands. It has to be. Interfacing. Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together, like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Esprit de corps. Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment. How were they planning to do that? Has anyone ever done this before? And this was a role-playing game. What do you think happened to the company?
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Conceptualization. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. What are they planning to do?
2 call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Interfacing. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies. Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Yeah, it is a cool idea, like a radio call-in D&D. I'd play it. Rhetoric. Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
They were insane if they thought they could do this. It was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets. The curse got them. I see no other explanation. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish this. Do you have any money? Let's give them more money, and they can finish it and make it even bigger. The curse got them.
Ah, yes, the doom of bad business practices.
The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Let's see. Shores in a puddle of shoes in a pile of melting snow. A postcard. Postcard, La Delta, 51. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Midtown traffic passes overhead. The ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist. Vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. Safety curtains. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. Island Empire, this must be where the entity lives. Knock on it. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Knock on it harder. Still nothing. No one's home. Knock even harder. These curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another way to get in.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
I need to find the malignant entity, Kim. This is the chimney. This is not random. This is significant. I want to see what's on the other side. I can try. Blow gently on your bruised knuckles.
Why do you think there's something on the other side, necessarily?
I must punch walls. The lieutenant asks, but you can see a spark of curiosity in his eyes.
In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Can I do it again? Okay, can I die to this? I want to see. Want to see what happens if I die to this. Oh, it's gonna. Endurance. You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading across your left arm, your jaw. So I'm guessing this is bad. I'm sure it's just heartburn. Oh God. Help someone. Endurance. Very, very bad. This is the end. Bad. Try to remain conscious. Let it all go. There's no shame in surrendering now. We all do. It gets so dark. You don't even see her face, like you always thought you would. You only see pain and fear. Cop suffers fatal heart attack. A detective, lieutenant of the RCM, passed away yesterday. His death, though abrupt, did not come as a surprise to those who knew him. He was the heaviest drinker I'd ever met. Captain Pulteney Price, the deceased superior officer, commented, "That ain't easy on the ticker." "He loved his liquor, sure," said Detective Chester McLean, friend and colleague. "But I think before he ever had a heart attack, his heart was broken." According to an official statement given by the RCM, the officer was on the brink of solving a murder case. And that's it. That's the end of Elysium. Disco Elysium. He died by punching a door. And that's... Scribbled across a notebook, yeah, that stuff, yeah. The best game ever. Okay, well, I will continue this tomorrow and explore the rest of the the rest of the building of the doomed commercial area and solve the mystery of the entity. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.